Hey, we are live. I'm Kaylee, and I'm here with my friends Tim and Katie from the channel Tim and Katie. There are links down below. Yes, and I want to point out before we start, they have arrows on the wall behind them.
Yeah,
they're cute.
It took
purple
a little bit
arrows.
longer. Yes, they are purple.
Yeah,
arrows. It took a little bit longer than we thought to get them up, so we didn't worry enough about placement.
With
now,
with a safety tip on
wait,
them.
and now go back to where you were.
Okay.
So now it looks like our heads are connected with some sort of strange phantom string.
It looks like we're starting some sort of like murder board over there. Like all the dots are connecting.
Yeah, it's just missing Post-its.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love those. Those are fun. I saw one of those videos recently where it was like all the connecting dots. That's so much fun. So we are here to talk about episode 5 of Hawkeye, and the title of it is Ronin. So I was really excited about this episode, like so excited. And I have to say my expectations were exceeded. It was so good. I think it's probably my favorite episode. But we'll go ahead and jump into the beginning. Now, I love a good flashback at the beginning.
I was actually worried about you because I know you haven't seen Black Widow, so I was like,
I was okay. I could kind of keep up. I kind of like it. It was like a struggle. It was a struggle in that beginning part. I'm like, what are you doing? But then like it did get back. Like I could kind of understand what was going on in the
it was
grand scheme.
If you go in missing context, it's not quite as satisfying because it's kind of like an epilogue to the movie. But it's easy enough to pick out what happened. I was worried initially, and then I was like, she'll be fine. She'll get it.
Yeah. I was okay. I wanted to watch Black Widow before this, but as you guys know, it was not realistic for me to do so because it was just I would have had to stop time. I would have had to like pause my life. So it is coming, and I am really excited, especially because I do love Florence Pugh. I believe that's how you say her last name.
I think
is that actually how you? Yeah. I was gonna say to go through life.
Yeah, her last name. You didn't know that?
No, I knew. I thought it was Puh.
I don't know which was better, Puh or Pew.
Florence Puh.
How do you say Hugh?
I mean, Hugh, obviously,
right? Not
but it's different.
It's not Huh Crane. It's Hugh Crane.
It's different.
It's like Tim reading the book. Huh Crane. Oh, Tim. Oh my gosh. So yeah.
There's mold on the wall.
I think I liked her before. I'd seen her in several things. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking. He's not a happy boy right now. But anyways, I'd seen her in, I believe it was Little Women, and I was obsessed. I thought she did a fantastic job in Little Women and, of course, Midsummer. And then seeing her in this, like, I was expecting to like her, but, like, I was blown away. I thought she did a really, really good job. Like, I loved all of her scenes. We'll get more into that in a little bit, but I just loved her in the beginning. It was very confusing. And let me tell you, when she like did the blimp thing and I was shooketh. I was so shooketh.
Yeah.
I did not see it coming. I was not prepared. I did not know where we were going with this. That was not where I was thinking.
Like we've seen, I mean, I don't think you have, but we've seen a lot of what other people looked like as people were blipping by now, because we have like Endgame and we have Endgame and we have like there's also a scene in quick scene in what is it? It's Far From Home, right? Far From Home, when they show what happens when a bunch of high schoolers blip.
I think
this is our first someone is actively blipping and what they're like. They felt like they were only gone for seconds.
Right.
So, and that was not a concept I really understood.
Yeah.
Well, and it hit so fast too that I like didn't cognitively recognize things like the color of the wallpaper changing until a little bit after she got reassociated with what was going on. So I was like, I'm going to have to go back and watch this like 3 times to really fully process how quick that was for her. And then she comes out and, there's a family where there wasn't one.
Right.
I was actually worried it was like a strange family that had no relation to the friends that
right,
she left
right. But
I was like, this is going to be really awkward.
At least someone who knew her was able to like reorient her pretty quickly.
And that was also before, because Katie was, when she was like, I need to tell Natasha I'm okay. And of course, in real time, Natasha's already gone. But her Black Widow friend wouldn't know that, because in that moment, the Avengers are actively fighting Thanos on the battlefield. Like, everyone is just coming back and realizing that they need to be elsewhere. And so, like, nobody even knows yet that Natasha's gone. So I was like, oh, man, I've never got to see the moment where she actually found out her sister was gone. But I have a feeling from the rest of the episode that Madame Hydra has spun some tales that might not have been true.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of confused, and I guess I took it the wrong way. But when they were like all sitting, this was before the blimp happened. And so they're all sitting there, and when she excuses herself to the bathroom, I almost thought that was like maybe Nat had already died, because she like seemed like she was like, oh, I need a moment. And I'm like, what is this about? Anyways, Morgan's here, so we'll hold that thought for a second. Morgan, hello.
Hello.
Oh, that does not work.
We might need a backdrop.
Uh-oh. Tim and Katie, you need to sit in Tim's lap.
Or like,
yeah.
Our lighting situation may not allow for that.
Yeah. Morgan, welcome. Morgan from Teaching Disney. Hello. You just finished watching this episode.
I did.
You probably have some fresh.
Don't start from the ending.
Yeah.
Don't.
We're back at the beginning.
I just want to say one thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was right.
I'm glad you said that, Morgan. I have a gift for you. I pulled this up. It's Tony Stark's Rolex, right? That's what we said last time. That's Tony Stark's Rolex we're looking at.
No, not about that.
That beautiful green hair.
We did a Spider-Man rewatch, and we're like, "There's no mention of the watch in these movies."
Oh, there wasn't?
No.
There was.
It's okay,
not
Morgan.
the watch of them selling stuff from Avengers Campus.
No, the compound. Well, they talked about like in Homecoming the fact that things were being shuffled from the tower to the compound.
Yeah.
But
maybe that's
nothing had made it to the compound yet.
Yeah, it was after Thanos blew everything up that they.
I thought maybe I guess I interpreted that as they were selling it.
No, Happy's like moving things from the Avengers Tower to the compound. I didn't remember it either. I had to rewatch it. But anyway.
I love Happy. Okay, but that's
I wasn't talking about that at all.
I know you're talking about. I know what you were talking. I think everyone knows what you were talking about.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get my shot.
I locked myself in a closet with children for 30 minutes this week. I can't do this. You can't do that to me.
Kumbaya.
That was a cliffhanger.
It was. Okay, so what we were talking about was Yelena. We started out with her and me saying how much I love Florence Pugh. Or how do you say her name, Morgan? There's a bit of a debate.
It's only Tim.
Not really a debate.
I just want to hear
like
Morgan
two
say
blunt objects.
I don't know. I would have to look at it. I don't know.
Her last name is spelled
P-U-G-H.
P-U-G. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
You're kind of with Tim on that one.
Yeah, you're with Tim on the post.
There was more of an O sound in hers, though.
Or it could be
I'm okay with the middle ground.
I have a friend that has like a really similar spelling, and she pronounces it Paul.
But I think it's pronounced Pew like Hugh.
Hey, maybe it's
Pug,
and we're all.
Maybe it's just a really sharp German.
Let me look at my friend's name, and I'll let you.
Wow.
We just need Florence to pronounce her name for us.
I know. Surely she has. This is off. This is off topic. I have to say this though, because this cracks me up every single time. And it is Marvel related, because I feel like hers
is this I'm putting my friend on blast here. Emma Paul.
Oh, I would definitely say that is Paul.
Yeah.
So it's an all sound.
Right, but she doesn't have an A.
It's an all sound. Yeah. Without the A, it's like all. So it's I guess her name is Paul.
I'm just imagining people like walking her in for interviews, being like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Florence."
No, okay, but is Jake Gyllenhaal, is he in anything Marvel? I feel like
Yes.
he is.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I'm not sure. Well, anyways,
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to share this really quick because this is one of my favorite moments ever, where he was talking on a late show one night and he was like, "Oh yeah, like people always mispronounce my name." He's like, "If you pronounce it the way it's supposed to be, it's actually Gyllenhaal." He like did it like that because of like Gyllenhaal. And anyways, just look up the clip. It is hilarious. Anyways, I love that man.
I can't look it up until Friday, but I will.
Yeah, don't look it up until Friday.
Really
there will be
dangerous
spoilers,
right
but anyways, love that man. And also him and Tom Holland have some really hilarious ones. Look up the one also after Friday about him and Tom Holland in the treadmill and them having a treadmill competition.
My two kids
running on
in
the treadmill
class today were literally watching it.
Yeah.
It's all on YouTube already,
That's
which
what
is why
Disney
we're
gets
not
for releasing it 2 days early
Yeah.
in a different country when the internet exists. I don't know what they
I
thought.
think it was more likely Sony that was like, we got to get it out there.
Well, like just release it on Wednesday. I'll be there.
My kids and the internet.
Anyway,
No.
we were talking.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. That was my bad. I had to share. I am the fun fact fiend. I had to share it. Anyways, so getting back to Yelena, I was saying how much I love her, but let's go ahead and talk about the famous macaroni scene. Okay, the macaroni scene.
I was dying laughing.
It was so good.
If I didn't already love Kate Bishop enough, then she was like, "Yeah, I know, box macaroni is delicious."
Like the best thing
I
ever.
was like, "Oh my god!"
I just love Yelena. Like, are you done? I'm gonna put hot sauce on it now. Hot sauce.
It's actually something I do, but it's usually not a hot sauce. It's usually other condiments.
He puts a different red condiment on his mac and cheese. I'm gonna
ketchup.
I'll take hot sauce.
I'm pretending this is beer so I look more distinguished, but it's not.
It's Coke. Yes. I love that whole scene was just perfect. And Florence, I mean, you have more of that to look forward to in Black Widow, honestly. So you'll just enjoy that because it's just more of Florence Pugh being fantastic.
But the Yelena,
I thought this was like another level up for her. I was like,
yeah, I would agree,
I
actually.
love this.
I think that Yelena as a character in Black Widow is very much a supporting character, and I'm trying not to like spoil it for Kaylee either, so I don't want to give too much away.
I mean, like you can tell by the title who the main character is.
Well,
right?
yeah.
But it's also about the Black Widows too.
Yes.
So.
And Yelena is more or less a standalone character in this arc.
Which I would just like to say, yes, you did need to watch Black Widow to probably understand half of what was going on.
We touched on that already.
Yeah,
there was some context missing.
Listen. The only time I was genuinely like, what is going on was when they were like tackling that girl to the ground and blowing the stuff in her face. That's when I was like, what are they doing? That was the only time I was very confused. And I was like, maybe I should have watched Black Widow.
First one's free. Next one costs.
Yeah, so that was the only time. Other than that, like I feel like I knew enough about it in general that I was like, I can understand what's going on, you know. So that was, I think I was okay. But
which I figured they probably wouldn't tether too much of the Black Widow story to Hawkeye, because at a certain point it just becomes Black Widow 2 instead of Hawkeye, which is not what they want. So I think it was just enough to give context for why Yelena is pursuing Hawkeye.
It's just more connecting threads between the rest of the universe without it being.
It also tells us where she was during the blip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is good because I didn't realize that. I mean, I don't think anyone knew where she was. We kind of just assumed she was somewhere. And like, I don't think any of us knew that she actually blipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of also explains a bit why, I mean, we know that Natasha was really sad to lose, her team members and stuff too. But then knowing like, oh, I lost my sister whom I just like reconnected with, like it kind of explains her
willingness to sacrifice.
Yeah, her change in demeanor and stuff too.
Yeah.
So the macaroni scene.
Yeah.
This is such a stupid small little thing, but I would also just like to say how much I like Yelena with bangs as opposed to her. She's got her hair ponytailed for most of Black Widow.
Her hair was glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like her New York look.
Pretty.
I hope it sticks.
Like girls' night.
I know. I just want to say I appreciate it a lot, and I thought it was really beautiful. You know, we had in that flashback scene her, you know, wanting to go to New York and having like this, you know, after everything's over, like her and Natasha in New York, and then she comes to New York and she's like, I want to sightsee while I'm here. It's a business trip, but I want to sightsee. And it's like, that was so cute, and I really like her, and I'm rooting for her. As long as she don't kill my baby, it's okay. You know,
I mean,
I don't think she will. Because I feel like that would be, honestly, in my opinion, if she ended up being the one to kill Hawkeye, I feel like I don't know if I could do it. Because, like, literally how much Nat loved Hawkeye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just can't, I wouldn't be okay with that.
I think,
you know?
But see, she wasn't around for that. Like, she doesn't know.
I know, but like, it just, I feel like if it was just, I don't know. And I haven't seen Black Widow, so I don't know. But I just feel like it would be like so, it would just like ruin it for me if she was the one that killed Hawkeye. You know, with what I know now, it would ruin it.
Hawkeye's presence in Black Widow is like not even on screen. He's mentioned a couple times, and he has one partially inaudible line that I think they just stole from external footage.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of Yelena's rage is directed based on what Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Madame Hydra, is piping into her ear,
right?
Which it helps to have that context of going back and seeing like she blipped out and then she came back and she had to be told everything, including this is how your sister died. Half the world is like basing everything that they're doing and saying now on what people who were around for the 5 years that they weren't have told them. Right. So it's not crazy to assume something based on what these three people said, that this guy killed your sister. Okay, this guy killed my sister. I wasn't there. I wouldn't know. Yeah. As opposed to he would never do that, which might have been her reaction if she'd been around for the Avengers fighting Thanos and whatnot.
Right. She has no concept of what was sacrificed just in general, and she didn't. It's not like she had any feelings about Tony Stark or anything like that either. I think it's Kate that Kate says something, and I wish I had like written it down because I thought it was a really good, well-written line where she was like, if someone is telling you this stuff about Hawkeye, I think you need to like reconsider who you're getting like this information
more or less
from.
Yes, that's exactly what she said.
And I was like, oh, that is like gold right there.
Yeah,
I want to bottle that up. That's
he's
so
not
good.
Perfect, but nobody is. He is good. And then if someone is telling you to take him out, you need to check into who it is. And then she does, which I'm like, I'm just so
I love you so
proud
much.
of Yelena all the time. Like even look, I'm not going to spoil Black Widow for you, but we were all a little bit disappointed with how she turned out as a character in the post-credit scene, because we're like, gosh, I'd be so disappointed in you going after people for money and just killing people for hired contracts. But in reality, like it seems like she's still, especially with the macaroni scene, I feel like she is still a lawful good person who is basically just doing the same thing Hawkeye is or was as Ronin, going around hurting people as a target versus, I guess, citizenship.
And then Hawkeye ends up having literally that conversation with Maya later about, look, we're the same.
Yeah.
I know I got ahead of our.
No, it's okay.
In this pyramid is exactly from like every single character in this show is in some way, shape, or form corrupt except for Kate so far. And Kate probably going to have to get her hands a little bit dirty before the end, because that's, I think the message here is like to do what you want to do and to help people. It's not always going to be clean and pretty.
Right.
Well, she told that back to Yelena though too.
Yeah.
She's like, if you live this life, you have like, there's collateral damage, and you know,
which I knew was going to strike a chord.
Yeah.
Too, poorly chosen words.
It was, but you know, oh, that was a great scene overall. To transition into something that I feel like is a little less important, but still notable before we get into like the deeper stuff of this episode, is the guy, his name is Grills, right? That
Grills.
Hawkeye, you know, is like, let me come stay on your couch. This is a guy, right? From the little fight
Yeah,
the
LARPing.
LARPing.
He's a
I was so
firefighter or
confused. I was like, why? He's just like homies with this guy now. Like, what is going on?
We didn't know that Pizza Dog was staying at his place.
Yeah,
so, like,
we
the whole
were
time,
like,
like,
Pizza Dog.
where's Pizza
Dog?
They had a breakup. Who gets possession of Pizza Dog?
I'm like, is
I
he
know,
still
I
in
was-
the aunt's apartment?
yeah.
I don't know.
No, because remember when they left last episode, they left for the bat to like break in. They said,
I
"Hey,
did
girls,
after.
can
when
you
they
watch
went
after
back,
the
I
dog?"
understood.
They asked them to watch after the dog, so I think he just took him back to his apartment.
I just lost
I
track
can't
of
remember that far
Dog.
back.
Yeah,
I've
I
slept
lost
since
track of it.
then. I'm like, I don't know. There was so much other things going on.
Yeah. But that was just
Yeah.
so sweet. It's so sweet that like he's made this connection with this random guy, and now they're like the whole LARPing group is like helping them. Someone's making made their costumes. They're watching the dog, giving him.
They broke into the police department for them.
Yeah.
grabbed
Yeah.
the arrows back.
The police officer was just like so unnervingly cool with like tampering with evidence.
Yeah.
No, I think it's
Like, oh,
it's
we
really
LARPers,
cool.
we good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I think that was
Yeah.
a sweet scene too.
I would
I
also-
liked it. Go
I don't
ahead,
want
go
to
ahead.
go too far down the rabbit hole because there's not enough information here to explore it really. But I do remember too Pizza Dog deliberately going after someone who is after the Rolex at the first episode. And I'm like, we keep leaving Pizza Dog on the sidelines, but he is a character in the comics, and I'm wondering when that becomes relevant.
Oh, yeah.
I guess in the last
Yeah.
episode is all we have.
I have
but
also something Pizza Dog related, but it's not that important. But
Go
it
ahead.
made my heart sing just seeing like very tired Clint on the couch who's sad and missing his family, just cuddling up with Pizza Dog, and Pizza Dog is just relaxed or whatever. I was just like, this is like food for my heart right now. I was just so
better than pizza.
it was
No.
so sweet.
It was sweet. I always love that dog. It's just so cute. But I actually, with the whole thing about like the dog and like how the dog knew, I literally said that in like one of my reactions. I was like, how does the dog know that that's like a bad? I was just like, so I thought the dog, I thought that someone sent the dog to do that was my first thought, but then it turned out to not be that. But I mean, that was my first thought, as I was like, this was a targeted dog attack there. That dog was sent to stop this. But
for what it's worth, in all the chaos of the last 2 episodes, I've lost track of whether or not Kate actually recovered the Rolex before being beat to death by Maya in her apartment. So
They-
I didn't remember.
I think
Yeah.
Maya still has
I
it.
think she does have it.
they didn't like bring it up this episode any, did they? So
No,
I don't,
because there were
I
bigger
think Maya
problems.
still has it then, because I feel like if they would have had it, then it would have been like a thing.
She put it in her pocket.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe so then. And maybe it's just we're past there's so much going on. I don't know.
I think they
I
forgot
completely
about
lost
it. I
track
think
of it.
because Hawkeye and Kate like broke up, like Kate just forgot about it and went home and like got changed and like hasn't thought twice about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, but Hawkeye wants that watch back.
I mean, that's how
Yeah.
Maya found out about the kids, right? It's because the Rolex had, according to Hawkeye, had GPS locations for one of his buddies, but it's actually probably his wife. So
Yeah.
she had lines written down. Morgan?
I don't know. I don't know what the watch is. Like I don't I thought it was Tony's watch because he always did everything off his watch. And it made sense that, oh, it's my buddy's watch. It would be Tony's. And something similar to the glasses, like it has base on everyone. You can find out information about anyone and everyone.
Definitely more than it seems.
But if his wife was something worse than what we know her to be, then it would make sense that it is hers and that maybe he had given it to his wife so that he could keep track of where she is and that he can always find her.
She's still awesome. She just probably.
I don't want her to be naughty. I want her to be good.
She's not.
She's
good.
not.
I mean, she was. As far as we know,
It
she's
might just be
retired.
Clint's, and he has it so he can always find his family wherever they move to.
I don't mind
that's
her
equally
being
as
a
likely.
superhero. I don't want her to be a villain, and I don't want our boy to
I
be
don't think she's
betrayed.
a villain.
I
Like,
don't want any of that happening.
So when they call each other on the phone, Hawkeye has her on the phone, right?
It's gonna say the same.
And she says he's like, this has gotten out of hand. This has gotten really big. he's basically implying he might have to like do some dirty work to clean it up, even though he was trying not to, which could mean taking lives or whatever. And she was like, believe me, I more than anyone else understands, and I trust you to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Why would a innocent mom of 3 who's never harmed anyone in her life say, I know more than anyone else that you have? So I think
that was the throwaway
she's a
line.
Retired hit woman agent or something.
I wonder if she was like some sort of a Black Widow or something along the same line.
Yeah.
So the
I don't
working
think she
theory
was like a brainwashed person, but I think she was just some sort of trained, agent, and probably, did someone else's dirty work either for money or for her job, and maybe that's
she
how
was
they
an
met.
agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The working well, she keeps running me over. The working theory in the Marvel community, of which I haven't, obviously because we're trying to avoid Spider-Man spoilers, I haven't had time to dive into like the analytic YouTubers who like go back and piece all this stuff together yet. But the working theory prior to this week's episode was that Laura Barton might be Mockingbird, who in the comics and in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think she had like a cameo too, was like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., much like Natasha and Clint, who was, like Natasha, kind of brought in for her skill set, which was basically espionage and murder, to be more of an asset and better aimed for the benefit of mankind. And I feel like what Katie said, like the throwaway line where she's like, you don't have to explain anything to me, I understand better than anyone. That's not like a they're there, dear.
I'm a very
That's
supportive
like,
wife line.
Yeah, that it seems to me like she does have some. Now she might not be that character, but I think she probably was. We never have any context for how she and Clint met, but in Age of Ultron, he does say Fury set this up for me. So I'm wondering if like, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. might have the pull to be like, I'm retiring, I need a place to hide, and Fury be like, here you go, versus I need a place to hide my wife. Cause
well, I think he also worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. for a really long time. So like he could have been like, look, I got all these people looking for me, looking to find out information about me, how they can hurt me. I'm not going to continue to work for you if I can't keep my family safe. That's how I implied that originally, but
originally I also did.
Yeah.
But now with all this extra background, the fact that she was the one to put forth, hey, the Rolex might be a problem, that's where I was like, okay, something bigger is going on here than they want us to know.
I don't see it being her watch. Like I really do. It's a very manly watch, and no woman is going to wear that watch. Like I'm sorry, and like I mean, like
I didn't study
I'll
it
thank
enough.
you to keep your sexist opinions to yourself.
I mean, like today's
women can do anything men can do,
including wearing
watches.
That's true. But like I feel like people nowadays wear it as a statement piece, but back when I'm assuming this happened like probably in the 90s, if not later, no woman wore a watch like that. It was mainly men that wore a watch like that. So
it was for grandfathers.
It's a man, and it might be Clint's.
Yeah, I'm not throwing away the theory that it's
her location is on it, because they probably moved around a lot depending on who was after him. If they found out where they were, they moved. Yeah. So he needed to find them.
Whether it's hers or not, I think what we're establishing is that she knows that the watch in the wrong hands could be dangerous.
My thought is that because it was obviously stolen from an auction where they're going through stuff found in the Avengers compound, right? Well, after the blip, there's no family. He's taking his priceless family possessions with him. Anything small enough to travel with the Ronin would theoretically be something he took with him on missions as like this is all I have left of my family type deal. So that could easily be how it wound up at the Avengers compound to be sorted out and found through the rubble. And then if Maya sends people after the Ronin trying to track down anything that might point to the Ronin, which is how Kate got into this in the first place, then in theory, pieces are starting to come together on the other side that are like, hey, it wasn't super important until it suddenly was, but I just remembered the Rolex might have been in that rubble, and therefore he might have all your name, or he or she Maya or the other guy that we'll get to might have all your names, and therefore everyone should probably start running and hiding again, which is kind of the call he had with Laura midway through.
Yeah.
But
I also felt like the call was kind of him saying like his goodbyes in case he doesn't make it back. Like it kind of came off to me like that too. Like he wasn't asking for permission to hurt people, but I think he was also telling her like, look, this is a lot bigger than I originally thought it was. And like, I might not make it out. Like
he
I
might.
think it was a bit of both. I think it was more like, this is going to get dirty.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad. And like, I think it was more so like, he's like, I don't know what's going to come of it, you know, like I don't know exactly where we're going from here. I just know that like I definitely think it makes sense that the watch has like their location and stuff in it, because like obviously he was like, you know, like, oh, I need to start running and things like that. So I definitely think it was a bit of both. Like I definitely got the vibe of like him being like, I could be like, this could be it, like if something goes wrong. But I also think it was very much like, you know, I'm gonna have to fight dirty.
Well, it's also like,
well, especially when he brought up the Black Widow. Like, I feel like he would not have told her if he didn't think it was a problem. So I feel like he's telling her like, hey, I'm not coming home. Like, you're not going to see me, basically. Whether it's because I'm dead or because I'm running from the Black Widow till she stops hunting me. Like,
I don't think he would go back with her still in the picture, obviously, because I mean he pushed Kate out for that reason. So I think if he knew he had a Black Widow following him, I don't necessarily think he would go home until that was. But I don't know. I don't know the whole like their code and whatnot. But like apparently, you know, with Elena telling Kate like, hey, don't get in my way. I mean, and him pushing Kate away, that makes me think like, you know, obviously anyone close to them could become collateral damage, you know, like we were talking about. So
I definitely don't disagree with this sentiment of like him thinking he might be saying his goodbyes and prepping her for that. I do think though that the way the show is written and the way that Marvel in general is written, there's usually a tonal difference between I'm telling the audience goodbye and I'm telling this person goodbye in the context of the story where I could not. Like, if you know what I mean, like the music, the emotion, and the chaos of the moment didn't quite suit the theory of Clint's not finishing the show. So I feel pretty good about him making it through, especially because we've only got one episode left and Kate's still got a long way to go.
And he has to put on his outfit.
Yeah. Well, that's another piece. We haven't seen the purple yet. I didn't have a Hawkeye shirt ready, but I had purple, so I put this on in solidarity. Because I know that's coming. He's gonna see
that. I'm excited for those.
No.
Okay.
I'm very disappointed if he only wears it for like 2 seconds. And then
you never know. But we've had some of that happen before. Oh, let's hang on. We got Allie is saying, hey, Allie. Hey. I haven't actually talked to you. Usually I talk to Allie about Marvel stuff, but I'm not sure if you've actually seen Hawkeye or yet or not, Allie. But it's, in my opinion, very good. I've been enjoying it. Okay, so before there's, you know, obviously 2 big things I want to talk about, but there's 2 little things I'd like to talk about really briefly. The first one being the adorable Kate messaging Hawkeye a million times, like leaving him messages like, I know we just broke up, but
like, filling up his voicemail.
Like, ooh, clingy.
It was definitely like, it was just so funny because it was like definitely one of those moments where she's like, yeah, but it's not really over, right? Like we're like, it's not gonna be over. So I thought that was that was honestly one of my favorite moments, I think, in this episode, just because it was funny. Allie hadn't seen it yet.
No, Allie, earmuffs.
Allie.
Thanks for the support, though.
I do appreciate you, but don't be a Kaylee. Don't spoil yourself and like do it out of order. I just don't be a me.
As I say, not as I do.
Yeah. But that was a fun moment. Also, another moment that I wanted to talk about before we got into our last 2 things, even though this is a deep moment, was him talking to Nat at the little memorial flag. I had some feels. That was a lot. That was just a beautiful scene that I'm so happy. And like him turning off his hearing aids so like he couldn't hear other things. It's like he just wanted it to be him and Nat. And I just was like, my feels.
This is the stupidest, smallest moment, but I just want to like throw congrats at the cinematographer who plotted
Thank
out.
You, Allie.
Hawkeye turns and walks into the distance. We go out of focus, and then we transition into Kate, who's also out of focus until she has like a resolution moment and sits forward into focus. I was like, yo, the show is so good.
I think I was too busy trying not to
as good as Daredevil, and I can't imagine why I would draw that comparison. On to the next thing.
Okay, so this is going to kind of transition us into like one of the big things that happened this episode. So he goes, he I thought it was a really powerful moment, him being like, I've tried to make your sacrifice and like you letting me live over you. I tried to make my life worth it, and I try to do that every day. That was beautiful. And then he goes and he shoots an arrow and it has like a little message on it, which I thought was so cute that it had like the little message in the arrow. And these arrows are hilarious.
The arrows should be a character in themselves.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun.
Funny.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
It's just like, pew,
pew. Yeah. It was.
But he failed to collect it after, so we've lost that.
I know. It's gone forever. Arrow. You cannot send messages anymore. All the arrows send messages are gone.
You have to downgrade to bottles like the rest of us.
Yeah. I obviously carrier pigeons. Oh my gosh. Carrier pigeons.
Or send pizza dog.
Pizza dog. Yeah, that's an idea. Pizza dog is a new messenger. But I really liked the I'll call it the fight scene, I guess, with the tracksuit mafia and then Maya. And obviously it wasn't as intense, I don't think, as last episode, but I thought that was a really good scene. I literally compared it to a shark attack because they kept going like every which direction.
That's classic Batman.
It is so Batman. Like, I don't know if either of you have played like any of the Batman Arkham games, but I know Tim and I have. But there's this move, and this is all just Batman in general, but it's like this move called Silent Takedown, where you literally sneak around and try to take down as many people as you can quietly without alerting anyone. And I was just like, Silent Takedown.
I mean, my gosh, wait, this makes so much sense. Oh, I'm so dumb. I was like, why didn't she know when he's
I was really about to say the exact same thing. Because
she can't hear.
Everyone else went down with like a little whimper, and I was like, okay. And then the one dude got off like 2 shots, and I was like, how did she not? Oh.
She shot him. He shot himself in the foot.
Right.
She can't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like about to say it, and then I was like, wait, duh.
The girl, I'm so sorry, internet, I don't know her name, but the girl who plays Maya actually is a deaf-mute actress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
she's wonderful.
Yeah, she's really, really good at
second deaf Marvel actress.
Yeah, after Eternals.
Yeah.
She's really, really good, but just like generally as an actress, she's really good at body language acting. Like the split second where she kind of turns around and sees that like all of her guys are gone. And she's like, what? You have like maybe half a second, 2 frames worth of that reaction. And I was like, dude, this is so great. And then Ronan steps out.
I really like.
I was like, wow, she must be real. Like, as I was watching, I was like, she's so dumb. Like, how did she not hear it? And it just never clicked in my head. Until right this second.
Well, because she's such a good actress that you don't consider her to be disabled as a character.
Yeah.
Well, I also wonder because we saw they don't show it too much, but we saw in like her episode in the flashbacks, and also there was him hitting her on the leg. She also has a prosthesis. I think it's her right leg, and I thought that was really interesting. I'm assuming the actress maybe also has a prosthesis because that was an interesting addition. But I thought that was really great to have in there too, and I love seeing like different kind of representations in there. So I thought that was fun, and like you all said, she's a really great actress, like so good. Especially like I really loved their interaction when obviously he was and I felt like he wouldn't kill her, but then him being like, I wanted you to see my face and I want you to know like it was someone in your business, basically this big bombshell for her. And then also her acting was amazing when she had the confrontation with the guy, I can't remember his name, but her friend, who I don't want to be guilty, but I don't
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know that. I don't think that
he did. He had a guilty face, but I like wanted him. Yeah. So wait, are they related? I need to know this. I need to know.
They're
okay, because I kind of liked them. I like their dynamic because he's the only one that knows sign language, and
I did feel that way too. I just thought I was like, wow, he's really sweet to her.
He cares about her.
Appreciate that he's.
My thing was, I thought they were the same age.
I thought that they were cousins. I'm not gonna like that was
like I thought they were like the same age, like they grew up together.
Yeah,
but and I kind of was getting like romantic vibes from them.
Yeah, I think they did grow up together. To find out
that like she like I guess she was old enough that he could have been in the gang if they did grow up together, but.
I think they did. I took it as they grew up together and then he worked for her dad. And that's what I took it as. I do think he's guilty. I feel like though, I really, really want at this point. Now maybe he'll change and it'll be like an Armand situation where I think I'm going to like him and then I don't. But like, I'm really hoping it will be one of those like, oh, it was a misunderstanding and he said something to Kingpin and then Kingpin took it the wrong way. And then, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of like he did have a role in it, but it wasn't like maybe he got so close to Maya as well because he had this guilt over it,
That's what I think.
And he felt like he knows that he like messed up. So I feel like will him and Maya ever be together after that? Probably not. But like, will I like his character still? Maybe.
Based on the last 5 episodes, really. So
the 5 episodes,
when Hawkeye is relaying the tracksuit story to Kate, right? He's like, they started small and then they grew. And I think that's a really important detail as far as like Maya and her relationships go. Because when Maya was a kid, the organization may have been headed by her dad and uncle, who was, thought of as uncle within the house because they were like brothers. They were always together. They were running the business together. But uncle gets too big for his britches and he needs the other guy to drop in order for him to continue expanding the business the way he wants to. Business disagreement or maybe just like lust for power, doesn't really matter.
Immoral, maybe. Her dad seemed like a good guy. So
yeah.
Maybe he was just too wanting to keep it. I don't know. I've seen Sons of Anarchy, so
I thought it was said that he said something to someone else, and
he did
like to be taken out.
Yeah, that's what Hawkeye said. Was that the number 2? Although he didn't implicitly name the guy. Bless you.
That was meant to be a much quieter.
The number 2, whoever it might have been, and we all know who it was basically sent out to Ronan, who at the time was on the warpath for any criminals he could get his hands on, that the people were going to be in this warehouse at this time, and he could topple the crime organization that way. When in reality, the guy who was conveniently out of the warehouse and his number 2 were the ones who would continue the legacy and run this organization the way they wanted to. And that's how they go from small to big over a period of 5 years. While everyone else is distracted by things like alien invasions and snaps into dust and whatnot. Also, it bears mentioning that for this to work, Kingpin had to have survived the blip. Like he continues growing the empire while everyone else is worried about their loved ones because he's a smart guy.
I think I think that theory makes perfect sense. It really does. Like I 100% can buy that. I just want him, the guy, what is his name? Do y'all know his name? The one that's friends with Maya and like the number 2. What
call
is his
him like
name?
the cutie with the hair.
I always want to say it's Franco because he looks like James
Frank.
I can look this up without spoiling anything.
He also looks
it's already published.
Stoned all the time.
Yeah, I appreciated him and Maya and him being like I loved in this episode. I loved that scene.
Kazi.
Yeah. Okay.
Kaazi.
Yeah, Kazi. I loved that scene this episode where she's like, it's right towards the beginning. It was like right after the battle. And he's like, you can tell me if it hurts. Like, he's like, it's okay. Like, you're in a safe space. You're in a safe space with me. And I thought that was like really sweet. And she's like, yeah, it hurts. Like, let's move on. I like that he like tries to be there for her, and I do think it probably does come from guilt, but I think it's a good thing that he has some guilt. I think that can show some potential for his character, if that's the direction they're going. It just may be that Maya kills him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think she's gonna forgive him.
No, I don't foresee. I don't. It will to like do this, like kind of like Bucky and the guy from Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, you love them together and you want that to like still happen, but as soon as the truth comes out, it's not going to be. And that's the same thing with Maya. I feel like as soon as the truth comes out, there's just no way they can ever get past it because that was her dad. So.
And Maya also, her alias in the Marvel Universe is Echo, and she's already confirmed to get her own spin-off series. So her story doesn't necessarily have to wrap up next episode.
Yeah.
But it needs to have some satisfactory conclusion in order for her to put the Ronin to bed so that the rest of the world can move on. So
I would love for her to kill her uncle / Kingpin. I think that would be the most.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
No. I like to dream big, Tim, okay?
You remember Yelena reacting to Kate saying, "Good thing I didn't kill." That's how I'm.
I have a
Oh, adorable.
So
All right.
what I thought I saw was that Hawkeye told Maya that somehow her dad was talking to people, like meaning like he was going to topple the organization himself. Like he was talking to the cops or something. And so he was supposed to be taken out because of that. And I think that's what I think like that's how they're gonna spin it. Was that like, oh, he was talking to the cops, he was talking to people, like he was gonna get us in trouble. So like Kingpin took him out, but then told this guy, like, I want you to be my number 2, so don't go. So I don't know that he actually knew about it. I think he kind of knew about it as it was happening. But Maya's not gonna care.
I just feel like for him to be out of the warehouse when all that was going down, I feel like either this Kingpin guy just has a soft spot for him, or Kingpin was manipulating him and using him this entire time and used him to topple the organization. I think want to
Kingpin's son.
Well, I don't know. That could be a
then
theory.
they would be cousins. Then never mind. Yeah.
I mean, we haven't confirmed that they're not, I guess.
Yeah,
Kingpin is not her biological uncle. She's calling him uncle. I'm pretty sure it's like uncle.
That's within the I think the tracksuits.
Because that would be the only way that
right?
they grew up together. Is that if this kid is his son, and he didn't want him to die.
Yeah. I don't know. I still go by the theory, and I think that, like, again, like, he was manipulating him, and I don't think that he knew. I want to believe that he didn't think that he knew that, like, they were all going to die. That's what I like to believe, because I want to believe that he's still got some goodness in him, because I like how he treats Maya. But
Kaylee, everyone has goodness in them.
Well, that's true.
Even
is my favorite television character Caroline Forbes from the Vampire Diaries said, anyone capable of love is capable of being saved. So I stand by that in this.
I just think he knew like something was going to happen, and he was told not to go. He didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but he was told not to go that night. And
I'm fine with that assumption, because it doesn't change the trajectory of like Kingpin as a character, and we don't know for sure that they're pulling in the exact same character down to the T from Daredevil, but as like a comic book character, Kingpin is usually like one of the most calculating antagonists in the Marvel universe. Like, he's always got 7 different layers
the next
to what's
billion
happening.
Steps ahead.
So if he's trying to topple half the empire so that he can grow the other half in the direction he wants, he would know exactly who to pull out and who to put in so that would happen.
So that the dominoes fall.
Yeah.
I think he could be his son. Nobody knows, but it's entirely possible that he just saw this guy who wound up informing Ronan as someone who could be a valuable asset someday, or he saw Maya as a valuable asset and knew that that guy could effectively manipulate her if he kept him on the payroll. So those are all.
I don't know that you could have known that. Like,
well, Maya, they were older. They were older, but
I keep thinking he died when she was like little.
No, it is interesting.
Yeah, she's like 18 or something like that.
Yeah, I forget that too. But she was grown up.
She was. Yeah, it's interesting though that you say that, because to think of it, you know, when her dad died and all them died, the number 2 guy, Kazi, he did not become the next like leader. It was her. She became the next leader. Mm-hmm. And so that is interesting because, you know,
I don't know that she is the leader.
Well, she is, because Kazi like comes to her and then she's like, who's in charge? And I mean, her uncle is over.
She's the leader of the
tracksuits. Of the tracksuits. That's what I'm saying. Like, because her dad.
But I have a feeling Kazi is like, he also knows he knows more than she thinks he knows.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I do. He's the one that talks to Kingpin and comes back to her and says, like, look, this is what he wants.
Oh, for absolute certain.
Right.
Yeah. He's above her, but like
he's actually, and they're
secretly.
Like, let her think that she's in charge, but really he's the one in charge. Like, he's gonna be the one that, if this is gonna be an issue, like I think it kind of is, he's gonna go and tell Kingpin and be like, she knows, like, we gotta, and they're gonna deal with it.
And maybe it was too suspicious too, I guess, to like put Kazi is in charge, because Kazi was mysteriously not there, and let's put Kazi in charge after this, or put whoever. So I think it does make sense from like, I mean, which Maya was there, but she got there late. So, I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
Was she
got there after
to be there? Like,
I don't know. They never. I don't think they ever said.
Well, no one picked her up from karate class, so what could she? I'm kidding.
She was older.
She's probably not still in karate class.
Well, let's talk. Let's transition to the last thing I want to talk about, which I saw it coming. I didn't want it to be true.
Check.
But let's talk about Eleanor.
Other words of success.
Eleanor. Eleanor.
That scene where Kate, they like literally are like waiting for Kate to come home so that she can walk in the door and be like, okay, look, oh, he's getting arrested. Oh, look at that. Oh, you were right. He's dirty.
You're talking about Jack getting arrested.
Yeah, but that was, I was like, that is so set up.
It was well timed. But also, because of that scene, I am doubling back on one of my previous theories where I thought that Jack and Eleanor were not literally, but maybe literally, were in bed together with Kingpin, and they were both running an operation together. Now I kind of feel like Jack is just the fall guy, because he's probably got some shady business ethics, but he's probably not smart enough to do what Eleanor's doing and help Kingpin control the city.
Yeah. I think, he's definitely not a great guy. I mean, he obviously wanted to marry Eleanor for her money, and I think that was, made clear. But no, I got the same vibe, Tim. As soon as I saw that scene, I was like, ooh, Eleanor, you're being shady right now, because I think Jack, like, is definitely, like, he's just not, I don't think he's
too
smart
stupid.
enough. Yeah, I don't. But Eleanor, I just kept having a feeling. I was like, she's gonna be as soon as
still hasn't even realized that Ronan's sword is missing. The sword he wanted so bad that he stole it after a bomb went off. He doesn't even realize it's missing.
He's not very smart.
He's not smart.
Well, let me tell you what one of my really bad theories was. This is a really bad theory because it was so untrue. But I thought process at one time, because I was like, Hawkeye is such a good guy, and I cannot believe that he would kill Maya's dad, who I really love. That whole flashback touched me. So my theory was that Jack somehow got the suit, and it was Jack. That was what my theory was. And then I was like, no, there's no way. for 10 seconds, I let myself believe that was like.
I think Clint did that.
It was so well, and
that's
everything
one can't be
he has.
undone.
Oh, he has. I mean, there's no way. But like that was like how far I was like, oh, it's Jack. Jack is the evil little like bad egg here. But I was always suspicious of Eleanor too. So I wasn't like really shocked when it ended up being her at the end because I feel like it was building up to her.
Like disappointing knowing what's in store for Kate.
Yeah, well,
he'd be right.
I also thought about, they were like, oh, well, Jack's business, or it's in Jack's name, this business that's associated with them. I'm like, what if it's not Jack though? What if it's Kate or Eleanor, and like Eleanor's like using
protecting
that
her
straight
assets.
up lying.
Yeah, and is like acting like it's Jack's, but it's not Jack's, it's Eleanor. I like that was my thought process. I'm like, I really don't think Jack is involved in all that. Maybe he is a little bit, but there's no Eleanor's way over his head.
So when Kate is like reporting back to her mom, being like, you got to be careful, here's everything that's going on, she's like thinking in her head, wow, I'm glad I did that. Man, that was close. That could have been me, she was talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I felt like was it last episode, I guess, like when she told Hawkeye to like stay away from Kate, and maybe it was episode 4, but anyway, she told Hawkeye to stay away from Kate, and then she made that phone call, and then Yelena showed up, and I was like, oh, it was so her mom.
She also was specifically pushing for him to drop the case, because when he got back on the elevator, she's like, so you understand? So you'll drop the case. And he's like, no, I never said that. I said I'd keep your daughter safe. And then the doors close. And then she gets on the phone, because then she's like, he's not going to drop the case.
Also, just how cool of Yelena to be like, look, I did what you said. I looked into who hired me, and you gotta I thought you should know this. Just like Yelena.
Disagree with that.
You're disagreeing with
I think she's lying.
Wait, who?
100%
Yelena?
She's lying. Yelena.
I think
Yelena is lying. Like, no, not about the picture, but I think she's lying that she found out who hired her. I think she's using it to lure Kate to get Hawkeye to come out so she can kill Hawkeye. I think because she knows who hired her. She knows why she's there. It's not that someone like is saying, hey, go kill him. Her boss
officially, her contractor is Madam Hydra. I don't think Madam Hydra discloses the contract, who owns each contract. I think she's just sent out on jobs, and she trusts that the jobs she's given are for the greater good, because that's what Madam Hydra does, is just spins people into thinking they're heroes when they're actually not. Yeah. But the contracts themselves, I don't think that if Eleanor Bishop was working with Kingpin, that she would. I mean, you're saying that she doesn't know. You're saying that Eleanor Bishop might not be the contract holder at all?
Yes. Like, I think she's just there really because I don't think this was really a contract. I think this was really like, hey, I found out who killed your sister. Here you go, kind of thing. And she wants him taken out because she wants all of the old Avengers taken out because she wants her new team to become the new Avengers so that she gets more money. And then I think she's Elena is playing into this because she knows that if she tells this is who your mom's hanging out with and she hired me, that Kate is going to go to Hawkeye, get Hawkeye, and he's going to come out and come help her fix this or do something with it. And that's going to draw Hawkeye out of hiding so she can kill him.
Kaylee, you may speak.
I have 3 things. I hope I don't forget these 3 things. I have 3 things I want to say, though, that make me kind of disagree with that. Okay, number 1, her saying at the macaroni scene that, it was going to be the easiest hire, the easiest contract, whatever that she ever had to do, because obviously she wanted to kill him because of her sister. So that kind of makes me feel that way. Secondly, also in that scene, she tells Kate, hey, don't get in my way again. And I don't really feel like she would drag Kate's mom into it when she wants Kate out of it, even if that was going to bring Hawkeye out, because I really, number 3, feel like she could find Hawkeye.
Right,
like,
that was my thing. Like, I don't think she needs Kate to find
Hawkeye. I don't think it's that. I think it's so much more waiting for the opportune moment. But I think that because from what I know about Yelena, like, she doesn't want to be like manipulated either. And so when Kate's like disagreeing with her, and even though she thinks like, oh, Kate's wrong and naive for believing Hawkeye, I think she's also like, well, let me just figure out who I am working for and like make sure that like for some off reason, Kate's not actually right. And like, I really am, going against what my sister would want, and I actually am killing someone that I shouldn't be. So that's why I kind of, and also this is the thing. I feel like Eleanor, they've been like building up for Eleanor to be this person. I feel like they've been doing that since the beginning, honestly. So that's why I can believe it. Like, if it was like, if they hadn't had anything at all about Eleanor, and if Yelena wouldn't have been like so nice to Kate, then I think I would have been like, oh yeah, maybe she's like trying to manipulate the situation or whatever. But like, I feel like there's just too many things that I do genuinely. And then the phone call, I just genuinely believe that it was 100% Eleanor, in my opinion. Now, I don't know. I can be wrong.
Yeah, we can find out more information.
The contract, if it is a contract, so I'm not discrediting anyone's opinion here. If it is a contract, it came before the Ronin reappeared.
Yeah.
So it means someone is after Hawkeye specifically and not after the Ronin, which is what the tracksuit's motivation is. Everyone who's involved on Maya's side is after Ronin. I think it is likely that Kate's mom is not the contract holder, I guess, in terms of like the more abstract idea. Like, she's not the one who wants Hawkeye dead. For some reason, Kingpin wants Hawkeye dead. This is order passed down to order, passed down to order, passed down to order. So she might be the one who actually hired Madame Hydra and her team, and Madame Hydra sent Yelena because she knew that she would be motivated. Whatever. However those pieces fall, I think Kingpin needs Hawkeye gone for some reason that is yet unrevealed, besides the fact that he's just one of the only remaining Avengers.
Well, when the more he tries to cover up his Ronin trail, the more he's getting into Kingpin's business.
That's true too.
Kingpin's
That's true.
And,
if the Ronin is buried, then the tracksuit is buried. But if the Ronin continues to make unscheduled appearances, then he threatens to unravel the entire tracksuit plan.
He's a piece of dust in Kingpin's great microchip plan. And then if he gets a little dust on there, his whole plan will explode. I don't know. That's a bad analogy.
Very shaky.
I thought that was a good analogy. If you've seen Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was.
My body is a microchip.
My body is a microchip.
My plan is a microchip. It's perfect, except for Hawkeye, this piece of dust.
Yeah. My thing is, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, that, well, I know for sure that this happened within a week's span. She's only known Hawkeye a week.
Right. That was funny scene.
I'm pretty sure Yelena was given that whatever it was, she was given that before December.
I would agree.
So
because she was in fall, she was at the grave.
It cannot be that the contract holder is because Hawkeye is getting into this, because he wasn't getting into this prior to a week ago. So that's why I really think she's lying, because she got the contract before a week ago. She's probably had it like for a little bit trying to find him. And she just found out that he was in New York because the Ronin was spotted in New York. So she hopped on the jet and went to New York and found them. And that's why I think she's tied into this. I don't think that, like, I think Yelena was hired by, if she was hired by someone else. She wasn't hired by them. And she might have just gone to them and been like, hey, I hear you don't want Hawkeye around. I'm here to kill him. I'll kill him for some money. Like, maybe that's what happened. But I really don't think, like, she got on the set because of Kingpin and the mom. I think she was already given the contract before. Like, she was already told about it beforehand, and she had already made up her mind she was going to kill him like a month ago.
I 100% agree that she got the contract long before anything that happened in New York this week.
I mean, she at least was told what happened with her sister.
Well, she was told a version of what happened with his sister.
But
that doesn't necessarily invalidate Kingpin as the contract holder or Eleanor Bishop as the one who is officially signing paperwork. Because if Kingpin needs Hawkeye gone, we're going to find out in a week why Kingpin needs Hawkeye gone and how early that started. But I think it's almost definitive that Kingpin is the one who, because Hawkeye knows more than he's telling us too, right? Mm-hmm. Because he knew who Kingpin was long before
he says that's the guy
Eleanor Bishop is involved.
To get involved.
Yeah, yeah, he does. He knows who it is. So that is a thing. But I agree with a lot of what you said, Morgan. I don't know. Yeah. I just know Eleanor is being a bad egg right now.
Yes.
And I don't know.
Yes. I think she's like I said, I think Elena is playing into Kate's feelings, and she's playing into a lot of it just so she can get what she wants. Like, I don't because clearly she was following her, and she followed her to that hotel where she met up with Kingpin. So I really thought that she was following her to capture her originally, to draw Kate and Hawkeye out. And because I don't think she believes for 1 second that Kate doesn't know where Hawkeye is, like, even though she really didn't. I think she thinks Kate's protecting him, and she wants to kill him, and she's going to do whatever it takes to kill him.
I do think that. Sorry, I'm saying
no. Go ahead.
Go
ahead, Katie. Katie had to talk.
There's something to be said for, like, Hawkeye is not just, or any Avenger is not just your like average hit. Like, he's. I mean, even though he's a low profile Avenger, he's still an Avenger, and I don't think that, like, I don't get the sense that, like, Madam Hydra wants, if she does want him dead, or whoever wants him dead, they don't want it to be like traced back to them either. So even if she has been sitting on this hit for a while, maybe the opportune moment was, okay, now he's involved with this mafia stuff, so it's not going to look super suspicious if he dies now, rather than everything, all is calm, all is bright right now. All of a sudden, Hawkeye's dead. Like, what the heck happened? I don't know. I don't know anything about mobs. I don't know anything about hitmen. That's just what I think about.
Oh, I know lots about mobs.
But I do think Kaylee's point of Eleanor Dirty is very valid.
My fantasy scenario for the final episode is Yelena and Maya and Hawkeye and Kate all realize that they're being played, and they go to conquer Kingpin together. And then Daredevil drops down and says, "Hey guys, I'm Daredevil, and we have this little mini Avengers team." It's not going to happen. That would be my fantasy scenario.
Daredevil.
I would almost love Yelena and Kate to be foils. I think they would be awesome on opposite sides. Like, I think they would just be the best.
My heart couldn't take it.
So there is
like another Civil War, like what I was talking about last week. Like, I really think there's going to be another Civil War coming, and I agree with you. Sides.
I agree with you, but it is not what I want.
I would like to see.
I do not want her on the other side.
I don't know what I do know, but I can't think of it. The anti-Avengers or whatever is like in the comics. It's Zemo and MODOK and a bunch of other people that we haven't actually met.
Zemo's an anti-Avenger?
Yeah, he's much more of an actual threat.
Zemo is so awesome. I just want to put that there. I love him.
But that aside, I don't know if they could easily be heading that direction and it not pop up for like 10 years. Like, they could be setting this up way long in advance. I know that Haley Stein.
Week, go ahead, finish.
I was just going to say, Haley Steinfeld has supposedly been caught in her costume on the set of Ant-Man 3. So I don't know how far out we're planning.
I know, it's exciting.
But we know that the Young Avengers are being assembled, right? Because we got Wanda's kids who are actually Young Avengers, and we're
getting our babies back, Katie?
They have been still out there.
Getting
And
our
then
babies
we've got
back.
what's her name? Ironheart coming as a TV series. And then we've got like there's all these little pieces.
Is that the Thor girl?
And no, it's shoot, I don't remember her name and the internet's gonna kill me for it. She's
the one who made her own.
It's a girl who like idolizes Tony Stark and like built her own suit of armor.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she's not Morgan Stark, but she's someone that Morgan Stark befriends. I don't know the whole story. I just know that it's already been like talked about as a series setup. So we have Young Avengers scattered, and then Cassie Lang is supposed to be an Ant-Man mini sidekick too. I don't know how far out this is all going to be, but I don't see any of these stories wrapping up like dead on conclusively in the next episode of Hawkeye. I see all 4 of these people spinning out into their own little stories from here. So it would be nice to have like some closure.
The closure is Hawkeye getting home for Christmas with his family.
That's what I want the ending to be. It's Hawkeye just walking in and his kids running and hugging him and them having like some that would be the perfect end for me. I would be so happy.
If nothing else gets wrapped up. I just want Hawkeye to see his family for Christmas.
I still put my eggs in the basket of Eleanor Bishop has to die. I'm not happy about it.
Someone has to die. I think someone's going to die, whether it's
okay.
Eleanor,
Kate can just get
Hawkeye,
adopted.
Whether I don't think it's gonna be, I really don't think it's gonna be Yelena.
No, they'd be so stupid to kill Yelena. They'd be so.
I don't think it's gonna be
stupid.
I think it's either gonna be Eleanor, Elena, or not Eleanor, not Elena, Eleanor, Maya, or Hawkeye. I think one of the
you can only pick one. That's what we're ending with.
We're picking Eleanor.
If Maya dies, her spinoff has to be all prequel, which is not going to be that.
What is it? Kiss, marry, and kill. Okay, but no, for real, Morgan, if you had to pick one, who would be the one, not like that you want to die, but that you think is most likely to die? The one that you think.
I
really
don't know. I like they all have a solid case. Like I think that the fact that Eleanor has clearly betrayed her daughter is going to push her to become what she needs to be. So she doesn't need to die for Kate to fully be an Avenger. And I think it would be awesome. And I think that would be like a good back if she did. But like I really still think it's Hawkeye. I really still think it's gonna be Hawkeye. Okay.
I just feel like that is a damper on the comedy show to be like, and we've just killed the main character.
Story-wise, it makes the most sense for Eleanor to die, right? Because she's an obstacle that needs to be overcome. But think about it from a publicity angle. Kevin Feige's up there in a production office saying, and we're going to kill Vision, and we're going to kill Iron Man. And then just to really stamp it in their faces, we're going to kill Hawkeye too.
For Christmas.
On Christmas.
Because like, I really don't see, first of all, he's not going to go home if Yelena is still after him. That has to be like, if he's gonna go,
I think she's gonna drop the case,
home,
but I
can't be on his case anymore.
I think like, Yelena's gonna like figure out next episode. I feel like
I don't think she's gonna kill.
I feel like two people could die. I don't know, but I really think Kazi has a good shot of getting killed if it comes out.
I'd consider him collateral. He's not even like
so I think he has a good shot of going down, and then I also feel like Eleanor does. Now I honestly feel like I kind of was on board before with being like, oh, I think it might be Maya. At this point, I don't really think it would be Maya, and I don't think it'd be Hawkeye. So I'm really like, if someone's gonna die, if someone's gonna die, I feel like it would be Eleanor, and then I do think Kazi, because I feel like someone needs to die, and that's right. Like, it's either going to be Kazi or Maya. I feel like Maya could happen, but it's less likely.
Sacrifice.
You must choose Kazi or Maya. I could be wrong, and they can both make it, but I feel like that's just where
you know what I think is going to happen? This is what, and I just looked at this.
Okay.
Hawkeye is going to die.
Oh,
Hawkeye
yeah.
to the world is going to die. And Clint Barton is going to live.
I could 100%
I can totally get behind.
Yeah.
Because he needs to be done with Hawkeye. Like, after this, he needs to be done as Hawkeye. He doesn't want to be Hawkeye anymore. He
Well, Kate has to become Hawkeye, right?
What if they fake his death? What if he's like, they have this moment where he's like dead, and then like everyone is like, Hawkeye is dead, and there's all this grieving, but then it ends like me and Katie wanted it to end, where he's walking into his family for Christmas, and we're like, we're finally
like, what up, players?
That would get Black Widow off his. That would get Yelena off his back because he's dead. That would get Maya off his back because he's dead. And that would get Kingpin off his back because, again, he's dead. No one.
Who would kill him in that situation, though? For him, like, I guess he'd have to be like seriously injured, and then like the whole like from the hospital thing. I don't know, or maybe he'll just jump off of like.
Maybe Kate shoots him.
I'm actually very into this theory now.
I feel like it's a good theory. Honestly, it is. It is. Now that you say that, but
someone else is also going to die. Someone's gonna die for real.
It's gonna be Eleanor, or
Eleanor's gotta go. And Kazi's, I think, Kayla, to your point, like Kazi is. I almost think of that as like a done deal. I'm not even like emotionally invested enough in his character to feel like that's a major character.
I am invested.
I know.
I was invested up until he was his little guilty dog face, and then I was like, oh man, I thought you guys were cute, and now you're dead. To me and to her.
I still have, again, because I feel like he did have some guilt, and there's obviously a reason why I don't feel like he was manipulating Maya the entire time. I don't get that vibe that like, oh, I'm just manipulating you because of Kingpin. I think he did genuinely care about Maya, obviously.
I think he was looking after her and stuff, but I do think it came from a place of guilt.
I think guilt. I also have read way too many fan fictions, so there's that.
There it is. I feel like she's attached.
I feel like it's just a fan fiction waiting to happen. Someone get on it.
What's the guy's name again? Archive of Our Own.
Yeah. Anyways,
Kazi Maya.
Kaya. You gotta have a good ship name. Okay, is there anything that you guys want that like we missed talking about? I feel like I tried to go through the episode, and I feel like I got most of everything.
Nailed everything. Really
nailed it.
Yeah.
I will say there's something I noticed, and I made Tim go back and pause it. It's a good ending thing. So at the end, when you see like the title card, there is 100% a silhouette of a big dude with a head, and I was like, oh my god, it's Kingpin.
A bald head.
It's it's his silhouette in the title card at the end of that episode, and I was like, I have no idea if that's been there the whole time, but I sure as heck noticed it.
I think we've just been pulling out very slowly and not showing it until the end.
So now you see like who's the big bad behind it all.
I think the show has a lot of rewatch value because we'll get all of our answers about what each side believes next week, even if we don't get a complete conclusion to everyone's arc. And so if we go back and rewatch with like, oh, he believes this, oh, she believes that, like it's gonna be a Haunting of Hill House style show where you can watch it multiple times.
Also,
which is more than I can say for Loki and WandaVision because it's fun, but it's not that deep.
I can rewatch Loki a million times. Okay, look,
but you could rewatch it because like you love it, like
I love my
baby. Like find out new things.
No,
that's what I was gonna say. Is like I might be able to track what happened to like The Watch and Pizza Dog better on a second watch because I'd be like, oh, that's where they said that. Because sometimes in the show it's just definitely more action than fantasy.
I will agree with that.
Time travel than Loki.
I do still think Loki. I mean, honestly, I feel like Loki is one of my favorite characters, and I love Hawkeye, but I feel like Loki's just up there for me, and that's the reason why I feel like that show is up there. But I know this show has had some mixed feelings from people, and some people don't care for it. But I honestly feel like it is up there for. I can't really pick.
I'm not in any way saying it's a bad show.
I think Hawkeye.
If I wasn't
really
so
enjoyed all
attached
of
to
these.
WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I would say that this is the best one they've come out with yet.
They're
I
all
would
about
actually
even
agree.
for me. I don't know. I feel like they all have their strong points, but I like love them all
I
pretty
just
equally.
think they're all just different kinds of shows. And I just like that they're all just not the same thing.
And they're all at a different scale.
Yeah.
Like Loki is cosmic. Nothing that is happening in Hawkeye's world matters one drop to what's happening on Loki's scale.
Yeah.
But like the fact that Hawkeye is, for lack of a better term, a street level hero is what makes me more invested in his character. Because like anyone who trains like Kate could be the next Hawkeye in real life.
Yeah.
Probably no one ever will be. But it's like
I feel
the
like
most relatable characters.
I always thought, like, in the back of my head, I always thought somehow Hawkeye was like some sort of like, he had some sort of power where he just never missed. Like, I thought that was like his power, but I guess he's just super well trained.
Bullseye actually has that, the Daredevil villain, who is also a Hawkeye villain by association because they're all placed in New York. But that, you're not that far off.
He's just Batman.
Hawkeye,
he's just trained really hard.
Well, Ronan basically is just Hawkeye taking a turn as Batman instead of being an open-faced hero.
Although Batman
I feel like
didn't kill.
I feel like this was a different vibe of the show, though, because this was like a murder mystery, but also a comedy.
Yeah.
That was really funny with a lot of Christmas music. And then like Loki was like a bunch of existential, can a bad person be also a good person? Like it was very like internal thinking and like about like, you know, people in general, which is why I loved it so much as well, because I'm like so interested in psychology and things like that. But I love that every show, like y'all said, does bring something different. My last question is, how long do we think this finale is going to be next week?
I don't even know how long these episodes have been, because sometimes
some of them are
they
short.
go so short.
This one was like 45-ish.
So it was longer than the because sometimes I swear they're like 35 minutes.
Well, there's a lot of stuff at the end. There's a lot they like, you'll click on it and it'll be like, oh, this is 45 minutes long, but then 38 minutes of it is the actual stuff, and then there's like 7 minutes of end credits. And like going back and
like has the production of a Marvel movie.
I know. Well, it's funny because then like going back to like the movies and stuff, I remember when I was like doing my early like Marvel reactions, they did not do that. Like it was like a cutoff pretty soon. I was like, see, this is how we like it, you know, where you know how long it is. There's not like this part is the show and this part is the after show.
It's like that on, I think, like some Disney Plus shows too. If they did like a version in Spanish or German, they're like, and here's all the credits for that version. And I'm like, I don't need 7 minutes.
That shouldn't be figured into the runtime, basically. It should just be automated at the end.
But I'm going to guess an hour or maybe like 53 minutes or something.
Yeah. I don't think it will be
about
exactly
10 minutes longer than the norm.
Yeah. Because I keep thinking it's going to be like some like movie length long finale, and they haven't been.
My one gripe of this entire show, and this is me like having to work really hard to gripe about something too, because it's a really good show. I feel this show and Loki, although I know Loki's getting a second season and this one isn't necessarily, this show could have been 8 or 10 episodes pacing wise.
Yes.
Because I feel like there's like Yelena came in very late for the role that she has in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they had to bring her in late because they had to establish so much of the setting and so many of the characters, and like it is a masterpiece for what it is, but if they'd stretched it out for at least 2 more episodes, I think it would be a better hard to binge this.
Yeah.
It's hard to binge this because it's a lot of information to absorb all at once. But I think that it wouldn't have worked as a movie, so doing a show was a better idea.
Definitely not a movie. Way too much to go on.
All right, guys. Well, I feel like this was a really fun live. I was so excited to talk about all this because it was, like I said, one of my favorite episodes ever. So thank you, Morgan and Tim and Katie, for joining me and giving your awesome opinions. Yeah, y'all know a lot.
I almost did it.
I know. I'm like literally getting in my car coming home, and Morgan's like, "Yo, I can come."
I did it.
I did my
all of it, and I still have more.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I did put y'all's links down below. Look at me. I didn't write a description, but I put the links down there. So
Do you
Go
know
check
you
out our
can
channel.
copy
We do nothing like this.
descriptions now on YouTube?
I do, but I also did not have time. I literally did. I got this set up. I did my makeup and my hair.
No, like I was
got in
uploading
here.
a new video and it was like reuse a description and I was like,
yeah,
what is this?
Well, you have to, and there's like little settings where you can like already put stuff in your description, and it comes up every single time. It's like in your setting, like my email and like PO box and everything. I always just put that in there, and so every time, all that stuff at the bottom, I don't have to retype it. It just types it in every time. So, anyways, you learn things. But I got this done in like 14 minutes, and I'm so proud of myself. Because I was like, I told Tim and Katie I will be on time. And I was on time. I didn't promote or do anything I should have done, but it's okay. I was here. So anyways, I will see y'all later for next week. I know no one is like, it's the worst. Like, I don't know why they picked next week for the finale, honestly, with it being Christmas.
And Thanksgiving week for the premiere.
They're crazy. Anyways, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Bye.